Hey, what's up, everybody? Chris here, and as you can see, my dog Leia is joining me in the background here to discuss today's topic, which is Henry Cavill no longer being part of the Superman universe, or really, I guess, being part of any Superman movies moving forward, which is really super confusing because it wasn't long ago where he had put out some marketing materials and information saying, hey, guess what? I'm stepping away from The Witcher. I'm going to focus on Superman. There's a lot of cool stuff coming. But then yesterday, James Gunn and Cavill kind of simultaneously on social media put out information to say that, in fact, that is not the case. He's no longer going to be Superman because James Gunn wants to focus on a younger Superman story. He did go on to say, though, that there could be some space for Cavill and his Superman to make an appearance later in the DC timeline as he sort of reimagines it. But this is really, honestly, super disappointing to me, and I wanted to just sort of give you my thoughts on that and talk about it with you. Hey, as always, if you're enjoying this content, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Please also be sure to subscribe. Your viewership really helps grow the channel. I really appreciate it. And let's dive right into this discussion about the new Superman and what that potentially looks like. So the first thing I want to do is just read this post from Instagram from Henry Cavill. And I'm just going to read it and kind of offer my thoughts on it. So here's what it says. I have just had a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and it's sad news, everyone. I will, after all, not be returning as Superman. After being told by the studio to announce my return back in October prior to their hire, this news isn't the easiest, but that's life. And that's pretty crappy that they told him to go ahead and tell the world that he was coming back, which is something that most DC fans and most Superman fans would have been excited about, but they totally changed their minds on that, it seems like. The changing of the guard is something that happens. I respect that. James and Peter have a universe to build. I wish them all, I wish them and all involved with the new universe the best of luck and the happiest of fortunes. For those that have been by my side through the years, we can mourn for a bit, but then we must remember Superman is still around. Everything he stands for still exists, and the examples he sets for us are still there. My turn to wear the cape is past, but what Superman stands for never will. It's been a fun ride with you all, onwards and upwards. So then let's also look at what James Gunn said on Twitter, right? He talked a little bit about and gave some context for the reshaping of the DC universe now that he's in charge of that and what he plans to do with that moving forward. He said, with those movies, among those on the slate is Superman. In the initial stages, our story will be focusing on an earlier part of Superman's life, so the character will not be played by Henry Cavill. But we just had a great meeting with Henry, and we're big fans, and we talked about a number of exciting possibilities to work together in the future. So I think what's the weirdest about all of this is that, Henry Cavill playing Superman is the one thing that most DC fans would agree works with the universe, the Superman DC universe, the Snyderverse, I guess, as it previously existed. Everybody was on board with wanting to get Henry Cavill back in the cape. And honestly, I have just wanted a sequel to Man of Steel for so long that I hate that we're not getting that. I feel like, we really never got the true follow-up to Man of Steel that we should have gotten. We had Batman vs. Superman and Justice League and all of that. But I feel like it just was something that could have been amazing. And actually, Man of Steel is one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. I think when it came out initially, it was a little bit not as well received as I would have expected. And I think as time has gone on, people have started to recognize how awesome it actually is in terms of not just a Superman movie, but just kind of a comic book movie and just a movie in general. So I'm sad that we're not getting that. And honestly, I think this is really kind of a big misstep for James Gunn. I guess who am I to question him, right? I mean, he's done Guardians of the Galaxy. He, came out with Slither many years ago. He's a great director and he puts together great projects, but I feel like this was sort of a tone-deaf miscalculation for the fandom and sort of recognizing what people want and sort of developing his ideas, sort of based around that to help grow the DC universe and to make fans excited about what we've got. So I really hate that this is happening. Who knows? Maybe he's going to churn out a great young Superman movie. Maybe it's going to be something that we didn't see coming and it's just going to blow us all away. But I feel like this is going to be a decision that doesn't resonate well when we get future DC content and movies and shows and all of that. So I'm just curious about what you think. What's your response to this? Am I alone? I'm guessing I'm not, in thinking that this was not a great idea. Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, thanks so much for watching.